Good Monday morning. It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum. I was going to hold that until the picture came up, folks, there as well. And if you haven't noticed, it's only your humble host here today as well. Yeah, Dale Hellestrae, 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys, folks. Drafted by the Bills, got to the AFC Championship game his last year in Buffalo. Then he went to the Raiders and got injured, but played at SMU, winningest team in college football while he was there as well. Of course, Saguaro Pride, we call him the home of the Hellies over there instead of the SaberCats over at Saguaro High School as well. Down tough times for them right now out there. Well, if you notice, he's not here today, folks, and that's all right. He'll be back hopefully tomorrow. He informed me over the weekend, just having a family deal that he's having to deal with. Nothing bad. Everything's fine. Everything's good. He just asked if he could take today off. And, of course, because I'm a nice boss, I said, absolutely, Dale. Take the day off. It's busy. We got IFL talking we got to talk about, right, with the Rattlers winning yesterday. We've got NFL. We got the depth chart for the Cardinals. We got a Hall of Fame game talking Thursday. You got Larry being enshrined into the Hall of Fame this weekend as well. That's okay. We got plenty to talk about here. Major League Baseball trade deadline today, 3 p.m. Phoenix time, where we're based out of. Of course, 6 p.m. Eastern as well out there. You know, Diamondbacks talk. This perception of this team has changed. We'll talk about that coming up as well with them here. And I'll just tell you right now, I'm not expecting any big moves. We're seeing all the names that were assigned to the Diamondbacks. We're seeing them being moved, like Ariz from the Giants going to the Phillies here this morning. So I have a feeling what we talked about last week. I have a feeling the Diamondbacks are going to say pat. Now, I will say this. The price for these players has certainly come down. It's not as expensive as once thought it was going to be because of the limitation of players available. The price has come down on a lot of these people out there. We'll see what the Diamondbacks do. We'll keep our eyes on it, of course, during the season as well. Phillies also getting Rayleigh from the Mets as well. So Phillies starting to make their moves out there. I mean, even the White Sox picking up a couple pitchers, a top-level starter for them. Then they go out and get the reliever, Brozoban, there from the Mets as well. So White Sox making some moves, folks. Yes, your White Sox, who were terrible last year. We'll keep you updated on that. Eligibility update here in the NCAA from Friday. Friday, they allowed the class of 2022 to have another season in the college world of things. Then there's some clarity coming up afterwards. We'll talk about that coming up as well. And then you could sit back and go, the Mercury made a trade for a 5-time All-Star in the WNBA. Huge news. There's some question marks around it that I'm assuming the Mercury have solved before this trade went down, but we'll talk about Kelsey Plum coming to the Mercury as well for the rest of this season. Now, she's been injured. There's only, 14 games or something left in the season. So it's not like there's a ton of time left here this year. She's on an expiring contract, so we'll talk about that coming up here this morning as well. So I don't think the Diamondbacks are going to get that big bat that everybody wants them to get. But we'll keep our eyes on that coming up as well. But Major League Baseball trade deadline coming our way here as well. But look, we got Hall of Fame. We got an official NFL game. I know it's preseason. I get it. But it's the Hall of Fame game Thursday night. So we officially have NFL football back coming our way this week. Yeah. Woo! Get good feelings here, folks, as we're getting closer to that. I was playing NCAA football, NCAA 27 last night. Got it over the weekend, and I was playing it last night. I'm 1-1 against Ethan officially now. I beat him. I was playing Arizona State first. Arizona State I was playing. He was Arizona. I beat him in that game. And then I had the lead. It's Notre Dame, and he was Clemson. I had the lead. I let him come back in it and win with the last-second touchdown in that game as well. So I'm 1-1 against Ethan. For those of you that follow Twitter, he brags about that stuff a lot. He doesn't brag when I win. But he goes and he's in my ear going, I haven't posted anything about it. Oh, okay, so I'm the one letting it out. That's good. 1-1, folks. what I'm looking at. 1-1 out there. Don't forget, folks, follow us right now. We're live on YouTube, TME Media AZ. Join the YouTube chat. Text us, 623-252-6670. And, folks, I love the persistence of it, but it's not as frequent as it used to be. Yes, I just got the text. Last time we got the text was last Thursday or Wednesday. And now I think it might be becoming a joke. We got the text on the text line, 623-252-6670. Same person saying, Tori's got to go. Well, this time, not as many O's on the back end of it as well. Diamondbacks taking 2 or 3. So you can hit us up on the text line at TME Sports Show as well on X. You can hit us up there, whether you're catching us live here on YouTube or, of course, on demand later in the day. And our multiple entities that you can catch us on demand, including YouTube, Rumble, out there as well. We appreciate you joining us and having some fun, however you listen. Or, of course, if you're listening to our free podcast system, wow. Excuse me, folks. My computer decided to fire up there. I was trying to shut it down before it did it, and it didn't get to it in time. But, hey, it's Monday morning. We're having some fun here. Big weekend. SummerSlam, of course, happened this weekend. I saw several of you, or a bunch of people out there that follow me, watching SummerSlam and talking about it as well. I had the rare Rattlers game on yesterday with SummerSlam at the same time going on. The Rattlers game was on the computer. SummerSlam was on the TV. Woo, that was a busy day yesterday as well. Robert says, Dale Housen partied too hard last night after SummerSlam? Well, that's the joke, right? That I was going to bring up. Here's the truth about why Dale's not here today. Here's the truth. He's embarrassed that he was probably watching SummerSlam over the weekend. He doesn't want to admit it. He knows I'm going to bring it up. He knows he's going to slip and get all having fun with that. I call him Dale Housen, the Danhausen match, which was absolutely great. I love to see that comedy bit. I hated him at first, but now that comedy bit's back into WWE again, which just shows they don't take themselves too seriously. Now, I thought Sunday's card was better than Saturday's card was better than Sunday's in terms of matches you wanted to watch going into the event. I had fun both nights. Now, you always have a dud match. My complaint about Saturday, though, most of the matches were like 11, 12 minutes. Like you always have one or two that are that short, but they are all that short. I can't stand Gunther. Those of you that watch this show know I can't stand Gunther. I told Ethan. Ethan's like, Gunther's up, and I said, great. So we're gonna watch him for 10 minutes, and then he's gonna end up submitting the other guy, choking him out. So I'm not even watching it with Ethan. All Ethan will hear down the hallway is me go, told you. I think I even texted him because Gunther choked him out. Oh, I can't. Ooh, Kevin Owens returned yesterday. So, I mean, just overall good weekend. Better experience. Now, granted, I wasn't there. It was in Minneapolis. Better experience than it was watching WrestleMania back when we went to that one in Las Vegas earlier this year. So, as well. Ethan says the computer to run the show got cursed by Dale Housen. We'll see. I'll check in with Dale here in a little bit. Everybody's fine. Everything's good. Just so nobody, because I know sometimes when people are off unexpectedly, people go, hope they're okay, and reach out. Everybody's fine. Everything's good. He just ended up needing the day off. We'll hopefully see him back tomorrow. I'll check with him. I'll check in with him after the show today and make sure everything's been caught up and fixed and everything to get back in here as well. But so that's what's happening from his perspective here as well. Robert says, to the Tori's gotta go person, meaning on our text line, he says, keep it up. He does need to move along. Well, there's the problem, Robert, because I was thinking about this over the weekend. Watching the Diamondbacks come back on Friday and Saturday and win those games. Then, of course, yesterday. First of all, we're going to talk about unwritten rules of baseball today. I can't stand them. It's not the unwritten rules I can't stand. Like, have unwritten rules, fine. It's the reaction to the unwritten rules. Like, okay, let me take my glasses off for this part. We'll talk about this more in depth. Let me get prepared because I'm going to have arrows slung at me. I'm tired. I am sick and tired of the unwritten rule being broken, supposedly. And teams going out there and acting like tough guys. got coaches, O'Dur and Voigt, just out there pointing fingers and yelling and screaming. Nothing's going to happen. Go sit your fat butts back in the dugout. Shut up. Unless you're going to do something about the unwritten rule being broken. All right. That was my PSA for today. Now I got to get my glasses back on and get serious. And get non-serious. Seriously. Why do you come out? Why do you come out and act tough and you don't do anything? You're just going to yell and scream? Nobody cares if you yell and scream. Stupid. Unwritten rules reactions to, these are grown men acting like 2-year-old babies. It's stupid. We're going to break that down coming up as well. Obviously, I'm giving you my opinion ahead of time, but we'll break it down and see as well. John Boy gave us the video to do that as well. Then, good thing you brought this up because I completely forgot about it. We did something we don't do too often. Now, we go to the movies all the time. As a family, me and Autumn, Ethan, Ireland tags along as well for certain movies. And we go to movies all the time. And we usually try to catch a Sunday morning early show for 2 reasons. Especially this time of year. Once football starts, that's out. But we try to catch an early Sunday showing. 10 o'clock for a showing, something like that. Just get it over with. Especially these 2.5-hour long movies. Yesterday, folks, 8:30 a.m. movie yesterday morning. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo! Give you a whole day afterwards. It was an amazing thing to have. A little too early for a movie, though. Like popcorn for breakfast, red vines for breakfast in my case, and stuff like that. But Ann's asking, how was Spider-Man? Yeah. Keep in mind, folks, I always have to preface this. And just for the record, and I know she's watching right now, I got a little bit on Miss Autumn here. Because I wanted to do the movie review starting this summer and stuff like that. Then she went out and changed jobs and is no longer a teacher, moved into the corporate world again and stuff like that, which is great for her. Except it ruined this movie review show that I want to get going on. Yeah, it ruined it. So I got on her. I said, you need to decide what we want to do on this. Let's get it done. It's coming, folks. I promise you. It's coming. It'll be a fun little short show reviewing movies and TV shows and stuff like that. But Ann says, how is Spider-Man? Okay. I am not a Marvel fan in the least. Spider-Man is one of my least liked individual characters in the Spider-World. Spider-Man is a character where he's a teenager, right? And he makes his quirky little comments as he's flying through the air with the web things and stuff to that effect. And I've just never enjoyed it. I've just never have. I enjoyed the last one where they brought back all the Spideys in the multiverse. That one to me was fun. But it was also partly fun because they brought them all back and that was like a fun moment in the movie and stuff to that effect. Absolutely. Like I'm a Batman guy, but only certain Batmans. Just to give you an example of my mindset. And I have to set this up like this for a reason. Michael Keaton Batman, little cartoonish for me, but I enjoyed it because it was less cartoony. George Clooney, those Batmans, way too cartoonish for me. I didn't like them at all. Christopher Bale Batman, can't get enough of. Christopher Nolan. Christian Bale Batman is the best thing you've seen in a comic book movie type iteration. 100%. 100%. I enjoyed Supergirl. I enjoyed the last Superman as well, but it's not something I'd be like, you have to go see this. It was entertaining. Would I have gone on my own and watched it? No. I was, brought to it because of Ethan and Autumn and stuff like that. So I'm not a huge fan of these types of movies. Robert says, I thought it was highly enjoyable for someone that is not up to speed with the Marvel stuff. And Robert nailed it right there, folks. 2.5 hours long. Now, could it have been shorter? Yes. A little too sappy for me? Yes. Could have cut a lot of it out. But folks, I looked at my watch a couple times to see how much time was left during the sappy scenes. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I enjoyed the Punisher is one of my favorite characters, especially the way it's played right now. I love the Netflix series of it that's since gone away and things to that effect. Love it, 100%. The Punisher is a great character when done right, and it's being done right now. I enjoyed his character, even though it was dumbed down a little bit. It can only be so graphic in a Spider-Man movie. But I'll say this: Jean Grey's character was fantastic in this as well. I enjoyed it. It's worth seeing. It's worth seeing as a movie overall. The thing I realized watching this movie, though, crossed my mind during this movie. Robert, I got a response to your guys' tweets this weekend, by the way, and it's coming. Robert just chimed in. A guy that wouldn't watch her movie shouldn't blame Miss Autumn. Yeah, wait till you hear my response to what you guys were chatting about, because I was thrown under the bus unnecessarily in that conversation. But going back to Spider-Man here, enjoyed it. Absolutely enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. Too long. Could have cut 30 minutes out of it. Could have cut down the sappy scenes a little bit, to be honest with you, both in the middle and toward the end as well. But I thought it was great. What I realized during this movie, what I'm enjoying about the last Spider-Man with the multiverse, I don't remember the name of that Spider-Man movie, but it was the one where Tobey Maguire's surprise came back, and um, the other British guy came back as well. What I realized is I'm enjoying these movies a little bit more because he's a more mature Spider-Man, right? Like he's now in his 20s. He's not that 16-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid flying through the movies and stuff like that. He's more mature. MJ's more mature. The friend who I don't remember his name, the chubby guy, I don't remember his name. They're more mature characters now than they are just being little kids. And I'm enjoying this version of it a lot better as well. Ethan says Ned. I don't know. Is that the friend's name? The guy that went to MIT and stuff? Ned? Yeah, I don't even know his name. I don't even care to know his name. But I'm enjoying these Spider-Man movies. I am. They're entertaining. So even if, like Robert said, Robert's not up on all the Marvel stuff. He found it highly enjoyable. I'm not going to lie to you. So did I. Sappy stuff was kind of annoying. Could have cut some of that out. But it was a very enjoyable movie, Spider-Man. I'd recommend it. Even if you're not a comic book guy, it's a good, well put together movie. The good guys are good. The bad guy is really good. The bad guy you don't know is a bad guy is really good. Typical Marvel stuff out there as well. Stuff like that. Ethan said they needed the scenes to set up Doomsday and Secret War movie. Come on. Yeah, I know. That's the thing with it that I don't get. I don't care about. Because I don't care about the setup stuff. I just don't. I'll forget 90% of it before Doomsday comes out in December. I'll forget 90% of the setup. And I'll be watching it going, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that vaguely. So I recommend Spider-Man. Like I said, take the perspective of somebody. Because sometimes with these comic book movies, I like it. Like I like Supergirl. It was a fantastic movie. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Loved the way the character was played. Loved it. But the diehard comic book people had problems with it. That's because they get all immersed in the weeds and they don't just take it for what it is and everything. They get, Loki played, not Loki, whoever that character on the bike was. I don't even remember now. Lobo. Lobo didn't play the right character. They should have let him. And I'm like, okay, you guys are getting in the weeds, man. It was a good movie. Settle down, everybody. Well, this Supergirl said some things outside of. I don't care. It was fun. I enjoyed it. So sometimes my perspective, doesn't make sense to the people that get in the weeds with comic book stuff. As a movie, it was enjoyable. I recommend seeing. By the way, I think everybody saw Spider-Man too, because almost $1 billion on the first weekend. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, going back to what Robert said here, a guy that wouldn't watch her movie shouldn't blame Miss Autumn. You're talking about A Devil Wears Prada 2. And I wake up Sunday morning, head to the movie, and I see all these notifications on my social media where I'm being bashed because I refuse to see Devil Wears Prada 2. That's not how that conversation went, folks. I'm gonna lay it out right here. I'm gonna lay it out right here, right now. Devil Wears Prada, the first one, had some really good moments in it. Now, I'm not a fashion guy. I think the Meryl Streep character is over the top, ridiculously stupid. and needs to get a humble pill in her because I think it's stupid that they're that snotty about clothes and stuff like that. I think it's ridiculously stupid. But I enjoyed the first one. Like the first one was pretty fun material. I was pretty sure the second one was going to be straight right trash. Straight up, just garbage. But I believe the second one was going to be, and everything. But I was like, I'm willing to see it. I'm just going to make fun of it the whole time. That was my exact wording when I said I'll go see it, but I want to do it. So I will watch it now that it's out on video. I will watch it. It's going to be stupid. I'm not going to enjoy it, but I'm going to watch it. I think it's going to be. I think it's predictable. We know how it's going to go. Blah 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 blah. I know, Robert. I know you saw it. I saw your comments on it. So we'll see. We'll see if we agree. That's going to put that on my list here coming up here as we get into football season to definitely check out. August is a huge month for movies, folks. It's almost like if you need me, I'm going to be at the movie theater coming up here every week. And there's some big movies coming our way here in August. And it's going to be fun to do with. So that's my Devil Loves Prada 2 story. I didn't refuse to watch it. Did not refuse it at all. Autumn says, not how the conversation went. I stand by my tweet. Well, you can make stuff up and lie all you want, Miss Autumn. We were sitting outside. That's stupid. And we were sitting outside. I forget what movie we were seeing. But I remember we were sitting outside with that dumb sheep movie with the dude from Wolverine in it when we had that conversation. Robert said, I had to see it because I'm still paying for dragging my wife to Uncut Gems. She hated that movie. Okay. What? Robert, how are you still married? Where are the divorce papers? Uncut Gems? That was a beautiful movie. That was a beautiful movie. I'm kidding, of course. Don't get divorced over a movie. I can understand why she hated Uncut Gems because it was different. And Adam Sandler in those roles is just way different. But that was an unbelievably put together movie, Uncut Gems. I loved it. Adam Sandler, I thought, was great in it. The basketball player that was in it was fantastic. And stuff like that. So, yeah. So, I'm going to see Devil Wears Prada 2, even if I'm watching it by myself, eating Rocky Road ice cream on the couch by myself, me and my dog, me and Lily hanging out. I'll watch Devil Wears Prada 2. I'm going to watch it and stuff like this. So, Robert says, I'm in this for the long haul. She's smarter than me. He also wrote that because she's sitting next to him right now. Robert's not a dumb man. She's looking over his shoulder. Autumn says, Uncut Gems was a rough watch, but a good movie. Yeah, no, it wasn't your happy, smiley-go-lucky movie by any stretch of the imagination. But in terms of like an overall movie with its turnarounds and stuff like that was amazing. Amazing to see. And to see Adam Sandler play that role, I thought so good was kind of a shock. When he's in the trunk, they let him out of the trunk. He's just like, oh, hey, everybody. You have to be kind of a sleazeball for that type of a role. And I thought he pulled it off pretty well. So there you go. Spider-Man, Devil Wears Prada 2 coming up as well. I think to that effect. And, we'll I'll keep the pressure on Autumn here to, figure out her schedule so we can do a movie review show that she wants to be a part of. Pressure's on. I need all of y'all to tweet at her and tell her movie review is more important than her job. Coming up is what we need. Oh, Lordy. If you missed the news, the top of the thing, Dale's off today. He had to take the day off. Some stuff he had to take care of today, unexpectedly take care of today. So hopefully we'll get him back for tomorrow. I'll check in with him later today as well. But I got you the whole show. Of course, we got IFL, NFL, Indoor Football League is what I mean by IFL. Major League Baseball trade deadline. We keep refreshing the screen here. I've just told you guys last week. If the Diamondbacks make a move, the Diamondbacks are going to make a small move today by 3 p.m. It's not going to be a big move at all. The big bats are going, and the Diamondbacks obviously aren't in the conversation with those guys to get them here. So small moves, maybe a pitcher or two. Like John Gambador was out there over the weekend saying guys are being added to the taxi squad, which just means they're up, they're close to the team, but they're not actually on the roster yet. And you go on the taxi squad because that means when a move is made, you get put onto the roster and you're here already, right? Is all that means. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. I believe Paul Sewell's about to get DFA'd. I think that move's coming. And I think that move, I hate to say it, man, because he's had such an unbelievable start to the year. But you just can't have confidence with that man, who's a great human being, does all the charity work, seems like a great guy. Do not know him at all, but seems like a great guy and a guy you could root for. We've been rooting for him all season long with his success. And I said on Friday, man, put him in low leverage situations. Put him in when you have a blowout going on. They had a blowout on Saturday, 10-2 or whatever it was. He goes in there and all of a sudden it's 10-7. You can't have him in that lineup anymore. You can't pitch him anymore. Bring up a young guy. I do believe that move. Now, one reason why you sit on it, and yet you don't do it quicker, is simply because trade deadline's today. You're going to want to announce all of the moves. Maybe you can unload them. I doubt it. But maybe you could throw them in on a deal or something. But you want to announce all of your moves all at once today instead of several trades at the same time. Diamondbacks start a 4-game series against the Padres today here at home, 6:40 p.m. tonight. Harry Potter night tonight. So you can have all the people in their Harry Potter stuff tonight around the ballpark. This is a big game, 4-game series, and when we get to the NL wildcard, we'll talk about that because the Padres, their offense has gotten hot, folks, just like the D-backs as well. D-backs have been the hottest team in the National League. They were going into Sunday's game. I want to say they were 14-5. So 14-6 after yesterday's game. Rough. I believe that's the stat. Don't quote me on the exact numbers there. I don't have it again in front of me. But Padres coming up here today. Trade deadline. Of course, big one with the Dodgers. Dodgers made that big trade for Skubal we'll talk about coming up here. I told you guys last week, Skubal's going to the Dodgers. And it wasn't even for that much. What was it, 3 players? 4 players? I can't remember, 3 or 4. None of them going to the Major League roster for the Tigers. The Tigers gave up one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball and didn't get a Major League player in return. All prospects. These trades, if you had a fantasy league and that trade went down, that trade would be rejected by your league. But Major League Baseball allows those trades to happen. We'll talk the Skubal trade coming up as well here today. Brennan fought on the mound today as well tonight here at home out there. And before we take our break, just really quick, U.S. men's national team. We're talking football here as well. Mauricio Petticino, Argentinian man himself. He has decided to a new contract, keeping him as the U.S. men's national team head coach through 2030, which, of course, is the next World Cup time around. So he's here for the next World Cup run as well. Made him to the round of 16 this year, of course, and it's a lot of success out there. Hopefully you hope to improve on that success afterwards. I questioned if he wanted to be here. Maybe it was a negotiation tactic for him. But, they offered him a deal, and he was like, well, I need time to think about it. I was kind of thinking, like, maybe he doesn't want to be here. Maybe he's looking for another offer out there or something. But he does end up re-signing. That news is breaking now as well for the U.S. men's national team show. So, Ethan, tag me on this. I know I said $1 billion this week, and I know I was exaggerating. But Spider-Man Brand New Day, officially the biggest domestic box office opening weekend of all time. $360 million. Now, this is domestic. That beats Avengers Endgame out there. So, if $360 million was domestic, they matched that or better than that for international, probably with China gates and things to that effect as well. So, Something just absolutely I mean, the movie theater is practically full at 8:30 in the morning. One reason why we go to the early showings on Sundays, like 10 a.m., time frame, 10:30, is because there's not a lot of people there on Sunday mornings. Theaters are generally like not as full. Things that packed yesterday for an 8:30 a.m. showing of Spider-Man yesterday there as well. They're over there in AMC, Mesa Grand is where we saw it there in the Prime thing, which is like Dolby Digital and stuff like that. Just AMC coming out with their own wording and all of that stuff. So when we come back here, we'll keep it rolling. Let's keep it going with Diamondbacks and Major League Baseball talk. Set you up on trade deadline today. Keep our eyes on that throughout the show as well. And we got to talk this unwritten rules, folks. Get in depth on that. Come on back, folks. The main event Monday. Robert, on the YouTube chat out there, of course, don't forget the text line 623-252-6670, as well as you can hit us up on, oh my gosh, I got 1,000 screens happening here as well. Of course, you can also hit us up on X, TME Sports Show, whether you're watching us live here on YouTube, of course, on demand on YouTube or Rumble later on in the day, or on the favorite podcast systems. We greatly appreciate you joining us. It's rumble.com/user/TME Media, where you can also catch The Real Matrix with the Angry Patriot. Every Friday at noon, new episode comes out there. Then, of course, always you've got the free podcasting systems. If you want to just listen to the shows out there, you can hit up any of the ways to talk to us and communicate and join the conversation. However you're watching us out there, YouTube, Rumble, or on the podcast systems, or the other ways that we're out there in the universe for you to find us out there as well. I'm just getting caught up on the YouTube chats here as well, having some fun. And if you missed it earlier, Dale had to take today off. Everything's fine. Everybody's good. Just had some stuff around his house he had to take care of. So he asked to have today off to make it easier for him. And obviously, I'm a nice boss. Nicer than I should be. But he's out there. And Robert says, it is more important, meaning the movie show. And he said, I'm sure TME Media will double your pay. No, I didn't say double her pay. I'm not going to double it. But, we can match it or something. Be a worldwide hit. That movie show. Yeah, be a worldwide hit coming up as well. Robert says it is time to move on from Seawald. Can't have confidence in him. He said, can't have confidence in him when he doesn't have any confidence himself. That's the problem. He looks like a defeated man out there. Which, I mean, I hate to be right in this moment because, like I said, I've defended Seawald all year. What my fear was when he first started and came back. This is what he does with the Diamondbacks. Did it in 23, now doing it this year. A lot of success with the team. We've seen a lot of closers in the Diamondback system go through this move. And it's time. I think it's time. I do think you're going to see a DFA of Seawald coming up later on today, possibly, as early as today. I just don't. You just can't keep. I'm hoping the Diamondbacks learn from the Pavin-Gallen situation, the Pavin-Smith and Zach Gallen situation. You can't let anchors continue to weigh you down. It affects everything out there. Even if it's a 10-2 ball game and you put Seawald out there, you're not just your fan base, but the team as a whole is going to have a negative reaction to him being out there. He's a great human being, but we talk, right? This is what we do here. We have to talk about the situation on the mound. We're not attacking him as a human. We're not attacking him as a person. 'Cause I know a lot of people are like, you're just too mean on him. The guy can't not find the middle of the plate right now, throwing high 80s, low 90s. And that's batting practice, baseball. And you saw it right away on Saturday. That thing landed yet? That thing you threw in there? So Diamondbacks go and they win, 2 of 3 in Cleveland. A team. Now, they're not fighting for them for a playoff spot, but Cleveland is fighting for an AL playoff spot out there. And everything. So, they just went through 10 games roughly. Not roughly. 10 games. against teams that are in their same boat, fighting for playoff spots out there, and all of that. They just went through that gauntlet. 6-4 is what they went. Win series against these playoff teams. So much so, and for the Cleveland Guardians, they're still in third place. They came into the weekend series in the third wild card spot. I should phrase it that way. There's still a game up on the Twins in that third playoff spot as well after this weekend for them coming up here. They just won Sunday's game. They're 3-7 in their last 10, the Guardians are. And they're still in that third wild card spot. 4 games behind the Red Sox, who are hot right now as well. And a game above the Twins. So you went in and you took care of a team that one's been struggling, but 2 is in the playoff hunt, right? And they need to keep it up. Now you've got the Padres for 4 games this week. Then the Dodgers for 3 this weekend. Scooble's pitching on Tuesday, tomorrow. Do the math, folks. 5th day after Tuesday, you can see Scooble pitching Sunday here against the Diamondbacks. It's a possibility. Oof. All right. I'm like, all right. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a minute. All right, so you got the Padres for 4. Padres, throw up the NL wildcard standings for me as well that we're looking at. Diamondbacks right now are in that second playoff spot still. They're still tied with the Phillies. Phillies have made trades for the trade deadline here coming up. They made a couple of big ones as well. They're getting Arias there from the Giants. Big bat here, second baseman bat from the Giants. They're getting Rayleigh from the Mets as well. Phillies are making moves. And they're tied for the Diamondbacks in that third spot. Diamondbacks not making moves so far. It's kind of sitting there. Okay. You want to finish higher in the wild card standings than lower, obviously. Second place in the wild card is probably better than the first place in the wild card. I get that side of it. But I don't think, now Philly's scuffling, right? 3 of 7 in their last 10. They have scuffled all year. They're adding a big bat to their lineup with that trade with the Giants as well. They're adding another pitcher. So will that improve them? Possibly. But let's say whether it does or it doesn't, right? To me, the Diamondbacks are in a playoff hunt with the Phillies, the Padres. The Marlins, I think, will fall off. Anybody below the Marlins on this chart, the Pirates, Cardinals, Nationals, Reds, Giants, Mets, and Rockies are out of it. I think they're going to continue to falter a little bit as the second half of the season goes on. Marlins are one of those where it could falter or could stay up. Do they sell a little bit today? I don't think they are, which could keep the Marlins kind of on a positive trend here for the Marlins. Now, the Marlins are up and down. They'll lose 10 in a row, and then they'll win 15 in a row. It's an amazing thing the Marlins are doing this year. So you're in a battle here with the Phillies, the Padres, and maybe the Marlins here for a playoff spot for the rest of this year. You've got to beat these teams. You've got to. If you can win 3 out of 4 against the Padres, you're just putting a ton of distance between you. And you're putting pressure on the Phillies as well to keep winning. That's what you need to do against teams you're competing against in the playoffs. When you play them, beat them, and push them down. This is an interesting stat I was looking up this weekend for the Diamondbacks. They're still only 17-27 against teams above 500. Now, they haven't played a ton of teams above 500 lately, on their schedule. Cleveland's 57-56. They went above 500 again after yesterday's win. They didn't even count for the Diamondbacks for 3 of those games coming up here. It's just you've got to win in these series here against the teams you're competing against. And the Padres' offense is warmed up, man. They're hot right now as well. They've won 3 in a row, the Padres have. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Diamondbacks 6-4. This is a big matchup here. This matchup will either keep you in the catbird seat of the wild card or knock you outside looking in and then fighting again for those spots. And then you have to rely on the other teams to struggle. Philly's making moves right now as well, as we talked about. Huge series. Brennan fought on the mound tonight, 6:40 p.m. as well. Do the Diamondbacks make a move today? I mean, they're going to make moves. You might see 2 pitchers DFA'd later today, and then a couple young guys brought up in the bullpen. You possibly could see that coming up today. Are you going to see a trade, though? You're not going to get the big bats. I told you, if there's a trade, it's going to be a small trade. You're going to get a lefty in the bullpen, possibly. Somebody, unless you're a diehard baseball fan, most of you are going to go, who? That's who you're getting today at the Diamondbacks. If the Diamondbacks make a move. They're waiting the next couple of weeks to get J-Mart back. You know, Lawler got hit in the hand by a pitch over the weekend, but he seems to be all right from that. They're waiting for Lawler to come back for a bat. They're waiting for J-Mart to come back and the bullpen. They're going to rely on, and it's not because it got too expensive. The market's not too expensive for these people. They're just not. They're not able to work a deal. Now, I'm not saying they're not working. They're working for deals. They're not willing to make a deal. They have to give up guys to get their payroll down so they don't go into that next tax threshold that baseball has. And they're just having a hard time working out the deal. The Diamondbacks are not in a good place to make deals. They don't want to take on extra payroll. I'll even go farther and say they can't take on extra payroll because they're not going to go into that tax threshold coming up from there. So we'll keep our eyes on the trade deadline coming up. And folks, did you see this yesterday? First of all, Major League Baseball needs to come up with a standard on when a game is paused due to rain. Is it because waiting until the pitcher can't grip the ball anymore, like they did yesterday, when the dirt infield is a giant mud sled and there's puddles on it and there's water standing on it? Like, where's the standard of when to pause baseball games in the rain? Because they don't have one, folks. They're just letting it happen and all of this stuff out there. If you missed it yesterday, Diamondbacks Cleveland. You know, 6th inning comes along. I believe it's 6th inning. Starts raining, but first. That's my first complaint about Major League Baseball umpires. Pause the game earlier. Unless it's the 9th inning, you're like, let's squeeze out the last couple outs here and let's get out of here. So we don't have to delay 90 minutes and come back. But 5th, 6th inning, dude, pause the game. Safety reasons. You don't need guys out there on that mud of the infield. And you'll see what I'm talking about in this video here. John Bowie put this together for us. And it's the broadcasting set out there. So pay attention as this clip goes on. Just look how muddy the outfield is when, I can't remember who it is, but the Diamondbacks guy ends up getting to third base. Just watch how muddy and how much water's on this field. It's ridiculous that they're even playing out there. When Williams, this ball comes out of Williams' hand and just goes anywhere it wants to because it slips out. But the bigger conversation we're about to have here, unwritten rules in baseball. I think unwritten rules are stupid. I do. Stealing a base when you're up 8 runs. Don't do it. Unwritten. Okay. Well, what's unwritten for you and not fair for you is, different for the other guys. But that's an unwritten rule. And that's fine. If you want to have unwritten rules, fine. But how you handle the unwritten rules, I think, is an absolute joke. Cleveland embarrassed themselves yesterday. A bunch of grown men cleared out onto the field after the umpires stopped this, pointing fingers and yelling because an unwritten rule in Cleveland's eye was broken in the 6th inning when Tim Tawa decided to bunt in the 6th inning to break up a perfect game. Then after the bunt, he gets the single. And Cleveland is so mad about it. What did they do about it, folks? They went out there and they stubbed their finger into the Diamondbacks' face. They were so upset they were yelling and screaming. but they were not manly enough to do anything about it. And that's what's stupid about the reaction to unwritten rules. I'm going to go out and give them a piece of my mind. Shut up and sit down, Oder. Nobody cares what you have to say. Sit down, Voight. Nobody cares what you have to say. All you're going to do is come out and yell at us? Shut up and sit down. It is stupid that grown men act this way. If they broke an unwritten rule in your eyes, figure it out how to solve it. Go out and start throwing punches if you want to. I don't recommend that. Throw at a guy next time. Hey, the perfect game's broken up. Hit their star player in the back. Be a man about it. Don't go out there with your wagging finger. I want to speak to your manager. I don't get it. You're grown freaking men and you look like 12-year-old girls or guys, boys. I don't mean to sing all girls there. You look like kids. Ah! How dare you? And nothing happens. Just a bunch of yelling and arguing. Do something about it if it bothers you. Otherwise, shut up and sit in the dugout. Clowns. Baseball players, man. I swear. All right, here's how it went down. John Boy, I'll talk over this while we're listening to it and stuff like that. It's kind of a long clip because they put it all together. Starts with a bunt from Tawa. From Tawa. That goes foul. Then it shows his base hit. Then, of course, the umpires call the game and put a pause on it. You'll see the wet infield. That's just ridiculous they're even playing on this field. It's ridiculous they're even playing on this field. Roll it, Ethan.
Yeah, he's throwing right around that.
There's the bunt. Look at the catcher. Look at this. He puts his arm. Look at the catcher.
Hey, he's trying to get out and get something rolling.
Just try to win the game.
Literally gets the base hit. Perfect game broken up. Sixth inning.
First base runner of the day for Arizona.
Look at that.
Look at that rain. He has no control over that pitch on a 3-2 pitch. Look at that field. It is stupid. First of all, look at this grounds guy right here. Come on, kid, get up over the top of that. Come on, boy. And he's like, all right, I'm just going to walk around. You guys go ahead. This is the stupidity I'm talking about.
There's a discussion here.
Oh.
This is, I think, Stephen Vogt and Torey Lovello having a conversation.
Look at this. I'm pointing my finger at you. I'm going to tell you how mad that unwritten rule is. How dare you, bum, right there. I'm going to show you how tough I'm going to have 3 people hold me back because I'm a man. I'm so angry about the unwritten rule. I'm a man. How dare you? I'm going to point at you. Even the umpire's laughing at him right there. I'm still pointing at you. Tell you how stupid you are. Umpire's like, get out of here, clown.
Right there at home plate.
Look at this. What? Oh, dear, you're so tough. Oh, I bunted. Perfect game broken up. How dare you bunt? That was foul anyway. It didn't even do anything. It didn't even mean anything. Literally, it didn't break up the perfect play, the perfect game. It fouled it off. It didn't matter in the scheme of things. And grown men had to go out there and cry like little babies out there. Let me point my finger at you. If the unwritten rules, if they're broken, which I don't believe this was the case here, 6th inning, whatever. If the unwritten rules are that bad and you're that upset about it, do something about it. Because walking out there and pointing your finger and yelling and screaming and having to be held back by 4 grown men is not doing something about it. It's stupid. Grow up. Unwritten rules, you need to grow up with the reaction to them. It's stupid. Pretty opinionated on that take, in case you haven't noticed as well. Yeah. In terms of Seawald here, Ann says on our YouTube chat, people need to understand it's not an attack on him. He simply can't do his job. That's exactly right. Sometimes you have to look at people and say, you're just not the man for this job anymore, man. We got to let you go. It happens. Yeah. Ann says it's just like anyone else. If you can't do what you're being paid for, it's time to separate. Absolutely. Not a knock on anybody. Personally, knock on what your job is out there as well. Robert says Dodgers have an off day on Thursday, so Scooble may be pushed back. Ooh, I didn't look into that. Okay, you're right. So we'll probably miss Scooble this weekend if I had to guess. I forgot. Even Diamondbacks have another off day on Thursday. So you're right. It won't be 5 days. But he also, has a weird pitching thing because of when he stopped pitching for the Tigers. And it's a whole thing. So maybe we won't see Scooble this week. Robert says Dodgers have. Oh, sorry. But there's the other side of it. Is he? I don't know. I know who Scooble is. I don't watch a lot of Tigers games, folks. I just don't. I know he's a great pitcher and all that stuff, but is he one of those pitchers that wants to go every 5 days to stay on rhythm, kind of like Corbin Burns, right? Or can he go off there? I don't know. We'll have to see. Robert says Ardur is a hothead. I remember when he popped Joey Bautista when they were face to face after a play at second. Yeah, it's fine. But Voit was out there, chiming it up with Torrey as well, mad about it as well. It's just, they're hotheads, but they don't do anything about it. I'm just going to yell and scream and point my finger at you because I'm a man. No, you're a child. You're a child. Yeah, that's what it is. Unwritten rules of baseball makes grown men act like little kids. Ridiculous. And that goes for any of that. I remember the Diamondbacks had somebody that bunted on them, and Bob Brenly lost his mind. That was later in the game, and stuff like that as well. So, I was looking it up, right? Because this was my problem with getting Luis Arias here from the Giants, because Bruce Cooper wanted him to come here to Arizona, and I told Bruce, I said the problem with him isn't that the Diamondbacks can't go get him. It's that there's probably going to be a bidding war for that guy with teams that have deeper pockets and stuff. But now it's being reported. Yahoo Sports is saying, because I want to know, right? Bringing him in from the Giants does the little lineup fielding issue here for the Phillies, right? If you know Bryce Harper on that team, and they say Bryce Harper is expected to move back to right field with second baseman Luis Arias joining that team as well. So you're going to see some, so that, that had to go through Bryce Harper as well, right? As we go on that side. Like, I know everybody's clamoring for the Diamondbacks to make a move. There's no doubt about it. Everybody's clamoring for a big move. The bats that you wanted are gone. The Yankees picked one up. The Phillies have now picked one up. They're not out there. If they make a move, it's going to be a small move for a relief pitcher. Supposed to make you feel better about yourself. They're not making a move, folks. I just got a feeling they're not making a move. A big move. They're not making a big move. Their move's going to be with some DFAs coming up. Their move's going to be bringing guys back. They set it up for you, too, a week ago when they said, we're going to get all these guys back. That's what they set up for. But we'll keep our eyes on. Let me refresh the page here really quick as well. See if anything else has come through the line here. Like I said, I'm impressed with what the White Sox are doing right now as well. I told you, Blue Jays are going to unload a bunch of people. They got rid of Soriano as well here at Blue Jays. Got rid of Soriano. Went to the Angels, of all people. Yeah, Angels are picking up. Are you following what's happening over there in Los Angeles, Angels land? People are buying tickets to their games just to chant, sell the team for the owner. And now security and the old people ushers are walking around telling people they have to sit down or they're going to be escorted out, and they're kicking people out of the stadium and stuff like that because people are going in chanting, sell the team. Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch. I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of fun to watch that happen to an Arizona grad out there as well. So we'll keep our eyes on that. The trade deadline, of course, here for the second hour of the show coming up. 3 p.m. our time, 6 p.m. national. And, I mean, are you going to be disappointed if the Diamondbacks don't make a move? I will not be, because I don't expect them to make a big move. Like I said, they'll make a small move, maybe. But their move's going to be DFAing and bringing guys back. Do the Diamondbacks, they need a lefty bat and a big bat. But those guys are going. They obviously aren't spending money on those guys or able to make a deal because those guys are going elsewhere. Cubs are making improvements. Freddie Peralta from the Mets. He's a right-hander. He's a rental player as well, but he went to the Tampa Bay Rays. Everybody's making these moves except for the Diamondbacks. I mean, even the Guardians made some moves. They're third place in the wild card. They sold right to the Brewers. I think on Saturday is when they did that. So I don't know. Are you going to be disappointed if the Diamondbacks don't get a move? Don't make a move, a big enough move out there is the question I got for you folks out there. Hit us up, chat on TME Media AZ on YouTube, or of course, 623-252-6670 is our chat line. And Chad does come in here as well on the chat line, a text line, and he said, yeah, I'll be disappointed. They need a big bat, and they never seem to ever go and get that position of player is what they said. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Because of a money situation is why they don't do that out there. Hey, when we come back, we'll keep it rolling, keeping our eyes on the trade deadline all along here. We got to talk NFL, right? Over the weekend, the Cardinals. Look, yesterday was the last public practice. Yesterday was season ticket holder day. Last public practice until the red and white game coming up this weekend here for the Cardinals. Coming up here. So we're going to start going behind the wall, I guess you can say. Getting up ready for their season out there as well. So we'll talk Cardinals. LaFleur's press conference yesterday gave us some insight. Walter Nolan went out of practice on Friday. Seems to be okay. I'll give you that update as well. NCAA eligibility, IFL, Rattlers advancing over the Vegas Nighthawks yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Kelsey Plum, they're an interesting trade that the Mercury made yesterday. It tells me they have a long-term deal in line for her. They better. We'll tell you about that coming up as well. So come on back, folks. The main event, Monday edition. Second hour coming up next.